fans, what's good? Welcome to Knicks Latest. I am Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_ everywhere on social media. Let's talk New York Knicks. Follow me, follow the show, subscribe to the show. Let's get started immediately. Today is July 7th, which means a lot of players across the league, and 3 on the Knicks, are eligible for extensions. Let's get to it right away. Mikal Bridges, Karl Towns, and Mitchell Robinson become extension eligible. Mikal is eligible for a 4-year, $156 million extension. Cat, 2 years, $150. Mitch, 4 years, $89 million. Shout out to Knicks Feed and the Big Steppers at Knicks Feed. If you're going to take someone's tweet, you got to credit them. Go follow them on social media. Listen, to me, we've seen Leon Rose give extensions to players who he plans on keeping. And if he doesn't give the extension, it doesn't look like it's a death wish or whatnot. I mean, RJ got one, he re-upped. But it is kind of a signifier of, okay, you don't get an extension. We might try to trade you before that actually comes about, before we have to extend you, before we have to pay you. There are rumors going around possibly of a Mikal Bridges trade, possibly of a Karl Towns trade. Mitchell Robinson has been included in trade talks since he's been on the Knicks. There's a new coach, Mike Brown. He has been a coach who, in my opinion, has been a very good coach, has been a very adaptable coach. When he was in Cleveland, that team was known for defense. When he was in Sacramento, that team was known for offense and ball movement and cutting. He was pretty much a defensive coordinator under Steve Kerr with those Golden State Warriors dynasty teams. So he's a head coach where, he's not a Mike D'Antoni. With Mike D'Antoni, you pretty much know what you're getting, right? You know that there's one side of the ball that you can concentrate on, and he's going to implement a certain system. With Mike Brown, though, it's kind of hard to tell what changes he's going to make here, right? So I don't know what his vision for Mikal is, right? But I would hope that you would get Mikal going early. He would touch the ball more. There would be more ball movement so he's not as cold, right? Mikal was hot and cold this year, and although, of course, you have to put some onus on the player himself, I do think a lot of it has to do with the heliocentric offense at times, with Jalen Brunson pounding the rock, the Knicks not moving the ball as well as you typically would want them to as Knicks fans. They got off to a hot start to start the season, a historic start to start the season offensively, but then kind of cooled off as the season went on, as teams started putting smalls on Karl Towns and bigs on Josh Hart. Tibbs never really made the adjustment, and I do think that someone like Mikal Bridges hurt because of that. I would even go back into when Quentin Grimes was the starting shooting guard for the Knicks too. They just had him in the corner, and he really touched the ball, and he struggled. The only one who really didn't struggle and felt like he had some type of rhythm in that offense was Dante DiVincenzo. We got rid of him, but he has been an outlier at that position. For the most part, the fourth option, the shooting guard option, they typically struggle with Tibbs. So for me, I do think that a Mike Brown can come in. He can implement more of a cutting offense, maybe more of a ball movement type of offense to get Mikal going, because I do feel that giving up 5 draft picks for Mikal Bridges, you're going to have some type of investment. He is a player that I do think might or could be worth that investment. We saw in the playoffs how defensively he stepped up against the Boston Celtics in the fourth quarter, late in games, how he took over some of those games as well. There is good there with Mikal Bridges, but do you keep him? Do you not? What do you get from him? Who knows? For me, and you're going to see a theme here, I think right now you keep him. I think that you go into next year, there really isn't much out there in the market that you could trade for him with. A couple episodes ago, we talked about how there are rumors of like Austin Reeves coming to the Knicks, which I find bogus. If you follow this channel, you're going to find a lot of the rumors and headlines that we talk about I don't think are going to come to fruition. I report them here on Knicks Latest because, we have to talk rumors. We have to talk headlines about the Knicks. There are going to be headlines every day. If this is a Knicks channel, we're just going to discuss them here on Knicks on a Knicks show, period. And I know, the titles and the thumbnails are going to be a little hyperbolic. That's not me. Just come here, watch the content. We'll talk about it logically. I don't think there are really any realistic trades for Mikal Bridges right now. Now, that could change. Who knows? There are a lot of players on the move. Norman Powell just got traded. We don't know what rosters look like right now. So maybe somewhere down the road, something makes sense for Mikal Bridges. But right now, I can't think of a trade that makes sense for Mikal Bridges. Mitchell Robinson, he has always been in trade discussions. He's somebody who's very valuable to the Knicks. He protects the rim. He's one of the best big man defenders in the league. The Knicks are always better, plus or minus, when Mitch is on the floor. He doesn't bring much offensively, but the good outweighs the bad with Mitch. He is somebody who can switch on the perimeter. He's good in drop coverage. Everything that Tibbs asked of Mitchell Robinson to do defensively, he could do. To me, for now, especially with this team kind of going in a more offensive route, you bring in Jordan Clarkson, you bring in Yabusele. These are two players who are not known for their defense. Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson on the court at the same time, also not known for their defense. The Knicks seem to be cutting back a little bit on that end. I think letting go of Mitchell Robinson would be a mistake right now. Obviously, you don't get much from him on the offensive end. He's going to be very limited. Mike Brown's going to be very limited with his options with Mitchell Robinson at the 5 offensively. He's not someone you can use as a hub at the top of the key. He's not someone you can really do a pick and roll with. You could throw him a lob occasionally, but every time the Knicks pass Mitchell Robinson the ball, I'm yelling at my TV, "Why are you patching Mr. Ball?" Love Mitch, but just not a gifted offensive talent. But again, I think his value is too valuable on the defensive end to trade him right now, especially if you're not going to get something back similar. So for now, I think you extend Mitchell Robinson, you keep him, and you move forward. The big question here is Karl-Anthony Towns, eligible for a 2-year, $150 million extension. There have been Karl-Anthony Towns for Giannis rumors for about a year now. Just the elephant in the room. Every publication you can think of, Sports Illustrated, Yahoo, Bleacher Report, there's always been trades, Karl-Anthony Towns for Giannis. Karl-Anthony Towns for Giannis. Personally, I don't see it happening. To give up Karl-Anthony Towns for Giannis, I don't think the Bucks are going to do that. I do think Karl-Anthony Towns is probably the best single individual player that the Bucks can get for Giannis, but I do think there are other packages out there where the Bucks can literally rob a team with draft picks and young players and young pieces to build for a future if they want to rebuild. I think they would rather take that route than bring on somebody like Karl-Anthony Towns, who you pretty much know what his ceiling is and what you can do around him and base a team around him. It sounds good if you're a Knicks fan because Karl-Anthony Towns, his contract's so big that you don't have to give up too much outside of him to get Giannis in return. But for me, continuity is key here for the New York Knicks. You saw Oklahoma City, you saw Indiana. They made the finals, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that they've generally kept the same team for the past few years. They know each other. They know the system. They know how to work well with each other. If the Knicks blow this up again, that's going to be mainly the third core in 3 years with a new coach on top of it. There's no continuity here. We're already coming into the season with a new head coach. For me, I don't like that. Now, Giannis is a better player than Cat. I understand that. I understand how Giannis can take you over the top. But now you're talking about working him in with Jalen Brunson. Who's going to be off ball more? Dame and Giannis didn't really work the way that Bucks fans hoped that it would work. And that was a pair and a duo that everybody thought would be unstoppable with the pick and roll. Maybe some of that was coaching. Who knows? For me, though, this is a New York Knicks team that was 2 games away from making the NBA Finals. They are not far off. You do not need to make major adjustments, especially in a year where Tyrese Halliburton's going to be out, Jason Tatum's going to be out, Dame is going to be out. And right now, it's the Knicks and the Cavs. You have up-and-coming teams like the Magic and the Hawks who you're going to have to worry about, who are making moves and who I think are going to make some noise. But right now, it's the Knicks and the Cavs. Slight adjustments, a little bit of tweaks that Tom Thibodeau could not do, that you got Mike Brown hired for, and you are in the NBA Finals. So this game of keep or not to keep, I'm saying keep everybody. I know we're a Knicks channel, heavy rumors, heavy headlines, but I'm going to stay true to myself. I am not going to just throw trades out there just to throw trades out there. I'm not going to say, let's go get this guy just to get this guy. Things have to make sense, right? Mikal for Austin Reeves doesn't make sense. Cat for Giannis could make sense depending on what they give up, but then also you have this factor in, we're starting over again. Is it worth it? Who else are we giving up? For me, you extend Mitch. That's a no-brainer. I think he's somebody who's vital. I don't know if you extend Mikal or Cat right away. I do think it's fair to see how it goes, to see what Mike Brown does with this roster before you make changes. But I do think the smart and logical thing to do here is to go forward with the team that you already have, that you already know. Just make some tweaks. And if those tweaks don't work out by the All-Star break, by the trade deadline, all right, let's explore something for Mikal. There are more options out there now. Maybe somebody else becomes disgruntled. Now we can see, we have a more wide landscape of teams and buyers and sellers that we can look at. I think right now is not the time to make trades. It's pretty much what I'm saying. Extensions, maybe, maybe not. Mitch, yes. Mikal and Cat, let's wait, but let's go into the season with them. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you keep Mikal? Do you keep Cat? Do you keep Mitch? Do you extend Mikal? Do you extend Cat? Do you extend Mitch? How do you do this if you're Leon Rose? Are you more conservative on this like me, where you want to keep everybody, or are you more, let's change it up, we need to rebuild, we need to blow this up, let's go for it now, get Giannis? I know Knicks fans are split between that, and I could see both sides. I'm just telling you what side that I land on. Now listen, subscribe to the channel. We are a new company, Fan Arch. We're trying to build communities for each teams. I do the Knicks channel. Trying to build a Knicks community here with honest discussion, realistic discussion, positive discussion. Don't mind criticizing the team. Don't mind being objective. There are going to be times where we're frustrated, but definitely want to build a community of Knicks fans that are rooting for the team and want what's best for the team. All opinions are welcome. All point of views are welcome. Once the season gets started, hopefully we go live after games to, recap some games. You can follow me everywhere at Josh_Rodriguez_. Hopefully we'll have a handle for this channel soon. We're going to get going. It's the off season. Rumors and headlines are every day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be reporting everything that I see, everything that I read, and talking about it. So subscribe, like, comment. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.